In this video, I'm giving you 7 things to consider before going on a cake delivery. Hi, it's Karolyn. If you want to learn how to bake and decorate amazing cakes, then I would love for you to join me by hitting subscribe and the bell. So in today's video, we are going to talk about cake deliveries. And I know some people choose not to deliver their cakes, and that is fine. But me personally, I do offer that as a service, and I want to share with you 7 tips of things that I've learned throughout the past 20 years, which help my deliveries go a lot smoother. Now to begin, I do have a flat rate of a $25 delivery fee anywhere within my current town, which is about a 5-mile radius. And then anything outside of my town is a $25 flat rate fee plus $2.25 per mile one way plus any tolls. So I calculate it one way because first of all, it's easier to just calculate one way instead of there and back. And number 2, if people hear that you're charging them there and back, then they get like a little weird. I don't know. So you can either charge, for example, $1 per mile both ways or $2 per mile one way. It ends up being the same thing and it's a lot easier to calculate. So if I have to go 10 miles away from here and there's a $5 toll to get across the bridge to Jersey, it would be $25 plus $2.25 times 10 miles, so that's $22.50, plus another $5 for the toll. So that's, wait, I have to do the math. So that's $52.50, and I usually just round it to $50 or $55, just depending, just to make it like a nice even whole number. However, there are factors that may increase or decrease the price, and that's what I want to review with you today. And we will start with number 1, and that is the day of the week for the delivery and the time of the day. So I live just outside of Philly. Wait, every time I say so, I had somebody tell me that her son laughs every time I say so, and I'm trying to be mindful to not say it all the time, but it's just one of my filler words. I live just outside of Philly, and it is a nightmare to get on 95 to go down to Philly at certain times of the day and certain days of the week. So if somebody needs a delivery Saturday afternoon when everybody's on the road, I take that into consideration and possibly round up at another $5 or so depending on the time of day and the day of the week. So you should know the roads in your area generally, and if you know that there's a lot of traffic, make sure you take that into consideration when you're quoting your delivery fee. Number 2 is taking into consideration the time of year for delivery. So there goes so again. I am outside of Philly, like I said. In the winter, it gets really cold, and in the summer, it's really hot and humid. In the cold months, it's a lot easier to deliver cakes because the icing stays cold, everything stays cold, and they're not really prone to get damaged as quickly as in the summer months when it's warmer and the butter and the icing can start to melt a little faster. I personally, in the winter months, will deliver a cake up to 90 minutes away because the cake can withstand being in the car that long when it's cold. However, in the warmer months, I do not like to deliver a cake. I don't even like to deliver a cake an hour away. I feel like it's a little too much. I would rather max my time at about 45 minutes, but that's not always possible. So if it is hot out, what I usually recommend to the customer if they need a delivery that is pretty far, or if they're going to come pick up the cake and have to drive a long time with it, is to cover the cake, at least the bottom tier, in fondant. So when you're driving over bumps, you're less likely to get those hairline cracks in the icing. And then there's also, on the flip side, in the winter months, if it's really cold where you are and the chance of snow could be in the forecast, you need to take that into consideration before you agree to take an hour-long trip when there's a possibility of snow. And these are all scenarios that I like to lay out in front of my customer just to cover all of the bases. The third thing is the location. So there are some areas that are just more difficult to get to, i.e. if you have to go into Center City, or maybe your venue is off of a dirt road somewhere, and these are all the things that you need to find out before you go on the delivery. So what I like to do is to call the venue, or if it's a residence, just ask them about the roads in the area. And I even go on Google and try to pull up a Google view of the area so I can see where I'm delivering to. Because like there are some areas in Philly, we still have cobblestone roads from back in the days of yore. And I had to deliver a cake one time and I had to go over these stupid cobblestone roads and everybody behind me was so mad because I was going like 1 mile an hour. And I actually ended up pulling over and just walking with the cake a little bit because it was just so stressful. So you definitely need to know the location and the ease of accessing that location before you go. Okay, tip number 4, and I say this from experience. You must know where you can leave your car. Is there adequate? Is there parking in the area that you don't have to pay for? I delivered cupcakes before for my friend in Philly, and the PPA, that's the Philly Parking Authority, they are the worst. I don't even know how they find you, but within 2 seconds of parking in the wrong spot, you have a ticket on your window. And I delivered cupcakes for my friend, and I was in there for maybe 10 minutes setting it up, and then I had a $75 parking ticket on my window. So because of that, I always call the venue, and I make sure that there is a place for me to park, or I ask them at the residence, is there a place for me to park and run the cake in? And if there isn't, maybe I would bring somebody with me, like my mom or someone, to stay with the car and maybe drive the car around the block while I'm running the cake in. So that's why Center City deliveries are just such a big pain in the butt. Hence, I charge a little bit more. I'm like on Friends, Joey said hence. But I will charge a little bit more to go to Center City because of the inconvenience. Tip number 5 is actually getting it into the venue once you get there. So once I get on a delivery, I leave the cake in the car and I like to walk the path that I'm going to need to go to deliver the cake, because sometimes you don't know if there's like wonky flooring or if you have to go up a flight of steps, and it's best to be able to prepare yourself to know where you're going before you're holding that heavy cake. So I actually have 2 deliveries in the coming months. One of them is to Center City, and it's in one of the huge tall skyscrapers. So immediately I asked, is there parking? Can I get there without getting a ticket? And who's going to stay with my car? How do I get this huge cake up 56 flights, right? And they usually say they have a cart, and I feel like carts are worse. I'd rather just carry it because carts go over bumps and, it just messes up the cake. I would rather carry it. However, if I'm going up in a skyscraper, someone has to stay with my car. I do not want it to get towed, so I'll probably bring someone with me. And I have to prepare to carry the cake up and hold it in the elevator. Hopefully there would be a cart there that I can set it down, but I still prefer to carry it. And also another one that I have coming up in June, it's for my friend, and it's a big bar mitzvah cake, and she wants me to deliver it to Manayunk. And if you're familiar with Philly, Manayunk is full of hills, steep hills. It's kind of like San Francisco, just not as extreme, but that's the first thing I ask. Try to drive up a steep hill with a cake in the back. That's not going to work. So I need to figure out, I'm actually going to drive past the venue in a couple weeks just to see where I can park my car. How far am I going to have to carry a big cake up a hill to the venue? And these are just all the things that I like to know ahead of time so I can be prepared. The 6th thing I want to know is details about the venue. Is this going to be an outdoor event? Is there going to be air conditioning if it's in the summer, in the warmer months? If it is going to be an outdoor event in the summer, then I'm going to want to plan to arrive closer to the start time of the party so the cake doesn't have to sit out that long. And also, before I even make the cake, if I know that it's going to be at an outdoor event during the summer, I'm not going to make a crazy design. I'm going to recommend to the customer that they will go with a simpler cake. But that's beside the point. I do want to know about the venue and about where the cake is going to be sitting before I deliver it. And the 7th tip is to confirm the delivery with the venue the day before, a day or two before you deliver it. I just always like to have a contact, a name, and a phone number of somebody that I can speak to and make sure that the venue is going to be open, because this happened to me before. The girl was like, oh yeah, you could deliver it anytime after 10 a.m. And stupid me just listened to her, but nobody got to the venue until 11. So I was sitting there for an hour. Oh my God, I was so mad at myself. I don't know why I didn't call the venue. And our customers mean well, but they may not know the entire process, so that's why it is on us to figure it out. So get a name and a number of someone at the venue. Let them know. I just say, hi, this is Karolyn. I'm going to have the cake tomorrow for Amy's wedding, and I plan on getting there around 5 o'clock. Is that okay? Is there going to be a table set up? You know, just to have a conversation going so they know to expect you. So there you go. There are my 7 tips for to help you have a seamless and easier delivery. What other tips do you have, or other issues that you've run into when delivering cakes that you have put rules in place to help avoid any issues in the future? I would love to know. Leave that in the comments below. Please like this video if you liked it, and if you are enjoying my tutorials, I would be so grateful if you could buy me a coffee. My link is pinned in the comments below. And you can keep in touch on socials. And check out my website. Everything is listed in the description. And if you want to stick around, you can watch this video next and hit subscribe and the bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. And remember, it's cake. Have fun. I will see you on the next one. Bye.